Alright, we're up. The new season just dropped for Fall Guys, so we're gonna grind a little bit. Yeah. See how it goes. I'm like I feel sick, but the grind keeps going. Make sure that I have my controller set up. Here. I need to connect it through Bluetooth actually. Remove it. And then add. Done. Perfect. All right. Let's literally just play Fall Guys for the next 6 hours. I know Pyro fucking dropped
Cover your eyes like this. Now, tell me, what do you see?
I see nothing.
That's my life without you.
Dear basketball.
See, it's like we're back. Nothing even ever happened. Cover your eyes.
Oh shit, there's new levels.
Closed in 2023, but he
How private equity turns your favorite channels into slop. 3.6 milli in
That's how you know you don't watch the NFL.
Luffy D Monkey, shout out Luffy.
I didn't get down. It was awesome.
Do you guys have any idea what happened in there?
I know.
Greetings. I am here to bring you your daily dose of slop. You may notice something important in this video. I'm pushing 30 and I still don't know how to shave, hence the razor burn around my face. And by the time the razor burns heal, I will then have stubble again and the cycle repeats itself. It's basically the equivalent of the setup in every single Dark Souls game. It's just a cycle that will perpetually never end. I mean, I've even coped and done what the trans people do and get like all my facial hair lasered off. Because even though I'm not trans, let that be known, by the way, keep coping. I despise having facial hair. I don't know, maybe it's like an OCD thing or something. So there's been a small update to the situation with David the rapper. As you know, if you watched last video, which I'm very sure you did, no one watched it because the video flopped compared to all the Mr. Beast ones because I couldn't work Mr. Beast into the title. Somehow it's over. But he was charged with first-degree murder. And a lot of people were asking Fortnite, wait a minute, you collab with the guy. He has like a skin in-game. Are you going to do anything about this? I talked about his charges last video. Very heavy stuff. But his charges carry basically a maximum sentence chance of life in prison if he's lucky, or more likely the death penalty. Now, David has done a lot of promotions for Fortnite, like for example, David's Locker Bundle, and this was a bunch of cosmetics that David picked out himself. Think of it as like the Travis Scott meal at McDonald's, where it was basically just the most normal meal imaginable. Like there was nothing stand out about it. You know what, actually, I need to look at the Travis Scott meal because I just remember it being like the most normal order imaginable.
What's up, world? Yeah, you. I'm Travis Scott. This is my McDonald's order.
It's not filmed in black and white, and he's not putting his hands on his face.
Here's my fries. Sometimes I do this. Then I dip them into barbecue sauce.
Oh my God. Bro, he changed the game. Instead of ketchup, it's barbecue sauce. Holy.
Same order since back in Houston, and you can try it too.
Like, I get it. It's associated with Travis. He's got loads of fans. Respectable. I just feel like I'm watching a Robot Chicken bit, I'll be honest.
Pickles, onions, ketchup, mustard, and bacon.
What is that what makes that unique compared to a normal quarter pounder? Is it the pickles? Oh, maybe because it's got mustard and ketchup. I'm not getting invested in this. I'm not making that mistake. I'm going to be the bigger man. I'm going to let it go. Now, not a lot of people talk about this, but David actually had a pretty extensive history with Fortnite because David was actually a relatively successful Fortnite montage editor before he started making music. And that's how he promoted his original music, because he would add it into the Fortnite montages that he was editing. And obviously, after the charges were associated with David, his comment section has turned very sour. Like this guy saying, bro went from cranking 90s to catching a body, skull emoji. Bro's now playing Fortnite IRL, skull emoji. Now, some of you might be thinking what I'm thinking about these comments, and that is they would be mildly funny if not for the skull emoji just completely ruining everything about it. I mean, I guarantee you with these comments, they are so new gen, you'll probably have someone down below being, bro did a 5-star before GTA 6. You definitely did a nose exhale when I did that bit, right? I am funny, right? And literally 5 days before the victim, Celeste's body, was discovered in a vehicle registered to David, he put out a song called Locked and Loaded, which was released as the game's first official Fortnite anthem. There are some more comments here, like locked up and loaded with charges. And this other gentleman saying he was indeed locked and loaded. And again, if you scroll down, there's probably someone doing a really unfunny GTA 6 bit. That bit needs to die, by the way. I hate to say it. We're all getting really sick and tired of it now. It's the equivalent of saying drink bleach in current year. So at the time, the song was quietly removed from Fortnite's promotional material, but the items themselves still remained in the game, making people think with Epic, what are we gonna do with this? What are we gonna do with this creator that was recently charged with first-degree murder and a litany of other charges? So now, 7 months later, David has finally been officially charged, and Fortnite has broken their silence. And Fortnite basically said, yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, he's been charged. He's not guilty, but I'm going to be real. It's fucking over. Yeah, all right, you can have the money back, okay? Anyone that does a refund, we're going to fully process it. I just like the idea that they're talking about it in the boardroom at Epic, and it's like, well, you know, innocent until proven guilty, right? He's been charged, but there are people that have been charged, and they've found out to be in it. Wait, how much evidence?
Do you support Israel and the Jewish people? Now, more than ever, Israel needs
they got? Wait, they got like 20 terabyte? Okay, it's over. Yeah, boys, wrap it up. It's over. So, Piers Morgan, an interesting character. He has had a lot of people on his show. He tends to invite a lot of Gen Z onto his show because he thinks he can mug them, own them. And then they usually turn around and say, yeah, but what about your wife? And he has a complete mental breakdown. This has basically happened like 3 times in a row. Him and his PR team do not understand how people keep getting this information about his wife.
Insults. It's like a 2-year-old. Why would I care?
A 2-year-old? A 2-year-old? Listen, sir, I don't know why you come on and you talk like you're holier than thou. As soon as you're away,
all right,
who's this? Applications are open. That's your team, bro. That's your girl.
The context, I think that's like Piers Morgan's ex-wife, and she's basically trying to get Riz on Instagram. This is like the 3rd recorded time that people have been using this as dirt, as an own on Piers Morgan. And again, him and his team, they don't have any counterplay here. I think he just, I covered this last month. I think he just rage quits his own show.
Let's end this, please.
Cooked.
You know what? I'm not doing this video. It's pointless.
It's more the camera just cuts to him, and then you hear HS just say, cooked.
Please.
Cooked.
It's like cooked, and then he just rage quits his own interview. So Piers Morgan's probably thought to himself at the minute, okay, you know what? We got to lay off on Gen Z. They gotta keep kicking my ass, and I've got no rebuttal. In the meantime, why don't I get a fellow old person on my show? Like, for example, famous comedian Russell Brand. He's been in hot water for having several sexual assault charges thrown his way, but during his interview, he tried to find a Bible verse that was supposedly meant to defend him, only that he couldn't actually find it, and it was just like really awkward.
It was this from Isaiah. It's this. This is from Isaiah. Excuse me. Man, I'm not going to mark it before.
So later this year, Russell Brand is going to appear in court over allegations of and sexual assault made against him by 6 women. This comes after he's already denied 2 separate counts of 1 count of indecent assault and 2 counts of sexual assault alleging to offenses between 1999 2005. And Russell Brand has been through a lot. So Russell Brand has been in like numerous, mostly kind of comedy films, but then he made a pivot to like podcasting during the COVID-19 pandemic, and he promoted these like kind of Alex Jones style conspiracy theories denying COVID. And then also in 2024 he publicly converted to Christianity. So when he converted to Christianity in 2026, okay, I was 4 off though. That's not even a laugh. That was so close. I know this is like a really good Bible extract, but the only thing I can think of is James, your dad in Fallout 3 is voiced by Liam Neeson, and I just keep thinking of those like edited images that were floating around online where people were making it look like Liam Neeson pissed himself. Why is there so many? I like how in the last one, he don't give a fuck. So essentially, pull up, it's part of his...
Yes, your thing.
A tough one
that day.
He just couldn't. He just got completely stun locked because at that point, with how long that dragged on for like 2.5 minutes, that felt like watching the entirety of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I personally would just lie and pick any verse and then be like, yeah, this made sense because the thing, of course. But he was so committed to finding the actual verse, he was probably being honest. Oh yeah, don't worry guys, by the way, after the interview, he immediately went on Twitter and was like, hello, Piers Morgan, I found the verse.
I'm still looking for that passage, actually. Wait for it. Look, it was marked all along.
So, Logan Paul's in the news again. Why? The worst crime imaginable. LARPing. But not just LARPing. LARPing as a One Piece fan. Now, I'm sure as you're aware, the One Piece fan base are incredibly defensive, and they can smell a LARPer a mile away. Like, for example, if someone were to make a certain comment about the One Piece anime, saying certain things like, for a 22-minute runtime, they kind of do this thing where they explain what happened the last episode for the first 10 minutes, and then what they're going to do the next episode for the other 10 minutes. That would be certain death for you. I didn't say that, by the way. Logan Paul probably did. So Logan recently purchased an incredibly rare copy of One Piece Chapter 1. Now, as you know, Logan Paul has been investing heavily into the collectibles market. This is a very common tactic, by the way, that disgustingly rich people do, mostly billionaires, to try to dodge tax. Basically, they buy a bunch of stuff that will usually go up over time, and then when they die and their kid gets all the money, the kid has to pay 0% inheritance tax. It's a very good way to make sure that his family is supported for generations, and you see fucking none of it. I mean, all right, I guarantee you this, right? You go to any billionaire's house, they'll have like a painting on the wall that's worth like $200 million. You ask them, what is the painting? And they'll just go, oh, I don't know. It's a painting. It's got a little flower on it. It's not like the wilted flower emoji. It's like just an actual flower. Now, Logan has been doing this a fair bit, but he'd also like to spend some of that money while he's still alive. Like, he recently sold the most expensive Pokemon card in the world, using the publicity to launch his own platform, Rip It, which is supposed to allow users to open digital packs of Pokemon cards. However, despite launching 2 months ago, you go to check the site right now, it's down. Unlucky. And last week, Logan announced his newest investments in the world of collectibles. Like, for example,
Base 44 super agents. Careful, there's no going back. No setup. Just say hello.
A 9.2 graded copy of Weekly Shonen Jump issue 34, which contains the first official publication of One Piece Chapter 1. I like how in the opening of the tweet, he's like, proud owner of one of the greatest mangas in the world, in my opinion. It's only like the most popular cultural thing at the minute, like on Twitter. My PR people told me that. Could you imagine the PR people being like, hey, you know that biggest streamer in the world, the biggest English-speaking streamer, iShowSpeed? Yeah, he talks about One Piece a lot. You could become like the cultural zeitgeist. I don't know what that word means. It's a very big word. But you could become that if you like got onto One Piece as well. You'd get more than like 5 likes on Twitter, Logan Paul. You'd be very famous. Logan, you'll be so loved by the One Piece community, you'll actually not have to keep turning off replies on every tweet. Wouldn't that be crazy? That one's turned off. Well, that one was just engagement farming. That one's turned off. That one's on. That one's on. Wait, maybe he started turning them on again. That one's off. 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 Kind of genius how it's like all the ones that are like promoting something, it's like, nope. So after Logan's very proud announcement, a lot of people came out the woodwork and say, hey, bro, you're kind of just LARPing here. And you're just LARPing as like an anime fan. Because again, it's like, I'm not a huge Logan Paul fan. I have never seen the guy talk about anime basically ever. And now it's suddenly quite weird how he's got this intense fascination with like one of the most cultural mainstream animes at the minute. I mean, look, okay, I get some people get an autistic hyperfixation. That's why if you look at my social medias, you'll just see my profile picture on pretty much every platform except YouTube as Vox from Has Been Hotel. Okay, it's mental illness. I understand that. This is not that. This is LARP. You know, the worst thing is people are going to clip me saying that, and I'm going to have this fucking blood mustache when they do. God damn it. Now, people did a bit of digging into Logan Paul's past to see if he was actually a fan or it was a LARP. Like, for example, this clip from 3 months ago where he said the name of the main character wrong.
Luffy D. Monkey. Shout out Luffy.
Monkey D. Luffy.
What?
Monkey D. Luffy.
It's Monkey D. Luffy. See, it's that type of shit they're gonna fucking hate.
I personally would never mispronounce anything. Never have, never will. Intro's booming track. Now, obviously, he's got a lot of backlash. Like, for example, Dayzel, I'm probably saying that wrong. He makes some pretty cool videos reviewing things like Minecraft horror mods and how most of them are dog shit.
I think it so much. It comes from not an extra appreciation for his work. Not care about the fucking stories in his life. This is purely a financial decision, another way for him to try and make obscene money. I hate what he's trying to collect. You always pocket me fucking lighter.
Now, never fear, for anti-LARPer is here. iShowSpeed, or as I personally like to know him as, iShowRoids. By the way, the only reason I'm calling him iShowRoids is because there's a very vague post here on the Natty or Juice subreddit half a year ago, and he has a bit of gyno. And the top comment is someone saying, holy gyno, even though that isn't really a good indicator of if someone's blasting Tren or not. But anyway, iShowGear smelt the LARP from Logan Paul a mile away and basically said, you don't even know shit about One Piece. Now, Logan's tweet did a pretty reasonable 26,000 for brands. That's insane. iShowSpeed's tweet, 600,000 likes. Also, in Logan's video where he wrestles Speed in a WWE match, Speed told him that he knows Logan doesn't really watch anime. And this was after Logan said that his favorite anime is One Punch Man.
One Punch Man. One Punch? Oh, God. No, come on. That's how you know you don't watch anime. No, come on. That's your favorite? Yeah, you don't watch it.
And in the video, Logan actually shows Speed his copy of the magazine, and Speed told him that One Piece basically saved his life.
Wait, this is the first manga?
Yes.
Volume 1?
Yes, Volume 1. Second highest graded in the world, 9.0. One Piece, we all know it, we all love it. I know you love it. It started here. This is Volume 1, so they would take it from the magazine and then make the first ever, like, actually dedicated One Piece book. It's probably $300,000 to $400,000 book.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
As a One Piece fan, this is crazy. This show actually saved my life.
So what do you mean One Piece saved your life?
It saved my life.
What do you mean by that?
You remember back in quarantine?
Yeah.
I was depressed before like watching it.
No
but then
way.
when I started watching it, it started to get like motivation.
Holy shit.
Life.
Dude, that's sick as f.
You got motivated because like day to day in lockdown, probably more happened than a One Piece episode. Okay, One Piece fans, that was a joke. That was a joke. I am literally LARPing. I have not watched. I probably watched like 4 episodes of One Piece. I do want to sit down and watch it at some point. I don't watch a lot of anime. I think the only anime I remember watching recently is probably either Spirited Away and also Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I genuinely do feel so bad for Speed here though, because he's obviously very invested in the show. He has been for a while. He's made it basically part of his brand. And then you've got this like grifter LARPer that has infinitely more money than him being like, oh, this thing you like? Yoink. Mine now. Oh, look, I'm going to show on a video that I own this thing and you don't own it. So a few days later, Logan tried to double down and basically say he's buying 2 more copies of One Piece Chapter 1 since his response was so positive. And the next day, he posted having even more One Piece collectibles. And yesterday, he took a page out of KSI's book. You may remember some time ago, KSI released a song that was absolute dog shit. He probably thought it was good, but all of his PR team said, JJ, the song kind of sucks. You can't put it out. So then he bizarrely started rage baiting, turned himself into like a bad guy and started going after Dan TDM. And it worked. It was rage bait and it got everyone talking about a song that if you release normally, you know, being genuine, most people would be like, sorry, bro, this ain't it. Notice how when I mentioned KSI, I didn't say any of the sidemen, his friends. I was talking about his team. They've got to be careful about JJ. They don't want to get fired. You know, God forbid people like Zerka has to make another video saying, I drank tea for the first time. Fuck me. The fact that fucking video even exists, man, is crazy. Like how dry was the content that day? I want to say, by the way, KSI absolutely carried the sidemen because, oh my God, what kind of shit were they making 6 years ago? I tried tea and coffee for the first time in 26 years.
26 years I have been on this planet. 26 years I've stood on these floors. 26 years I have breathed oxygen. But 26 years I have not ever tried tea or coffee. And whenever I'm out and about, someone goes to me like, oh, do you want tea or coffee? I'm like, no, I don't drink tea and coffee. They're like, you never drunk tea or coffee ever? I'm like, nope. That's a little icebreaker. That's how you make friends normally.
How dry was the content back then? There was nothing. So Logan took a page out of KSI's book. Like I said, he enacted rage baiting, posting himself on a private jet. Sorry, I meant a PJ. Obviously, if you say private jet, you sound poor. You got to call it a PJ. And he was dressed as Monkey D. Luffy and reading One Piece on the plane. Now, the community notes, which is basically the only good thing left on Twitter anymore, swooped in and they pointed out that you've got the magazine open halfway and the actual One Piece chapter, it would be at the front of the magazine. It looks like you're LARPing. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is probably more rage bait from Logan so we can milk it into a part 3. You know, he's probably looking at it on his PJ thinking, oh, ha, ha, I fooled all of them. They fell for my little ruse. I was only pretending to be a fucking idiot. And now through Twitter Blue, I made a whole $20 off that tweet. I think it's reaching the point where, like, you know, I would look at people like Logan that have got this insane amount of like relevancy and this money that's unobtainable. And I think like, oh my God, imagine if one day I could get that. I would just kill myself straight up, like genuinely. If the end game of your life, if you've made successful companies, you've done WWE, you've done Prime, and the only thing you have left is to like let